Yo, we are here. Another week of the Husbands Club.
Buenos dias.
Spence, Grease,
What's happening?
Blacks.
Yo, buenos dias.
So what up, man? Yeah, man. Shit, we get right into it, man. Where's everybody standing at as husbands this week? Yeah.
I'm still in the good graces, man.
Getting the good graces.
Hey, good graces, man.
I'm having the talks.
The talks.
What you say about me on the podcast?
Oh,
I'm having a little bit of that, but it ain't nothing too serious. But she raising her eyebrow a little bit, though. Whatever.
What's up? What you
I
mean?
yeah, you just can't say that and then dip off.
You
man.
gonna tell them? I think like a couple of weeks ago we was talking about how we first met. Oh, you gonna really tell them the whole story how we met?
Yeah.
I just pursued you and got the hotel room and everything, huh? I'm like, yeah, that's the truth. Here we go.
You gotta protect that princess,
Yeah,
man.
you know that the first how you met talk when you telling other people, man, you gotta add extras to it, you know.
Right.
I did that one time and wifey got upset at me. Yeah.
How did y'all meet?
Oh my goodness.
No, we ain't doing that. Look, he almost got me. Damn it, man. He almost got me because I was ready to get ready to go right in too. Yeah. You say you just in the good graces.
Hey,
Huh?
I'm in the good graces, man. Did a honeydew last night. It was like I was in some trouble because it was like it's a little thing we have to put together.
Yeah.
Wife asked me to do it about 3-4 days ago. Last night, I kind of got that energy. I was
Yeah.
like, man.
Oh,
But
okay.
she woke up happy this morning.
That's
I woke up like a kid last night. You ain't sleep. Wake up.
That's what's up.
Wake up. You ain't sleep.
Lex?
Man, I'm just a work in progress, brother.
Hey, that's all we can.
Yeah.
That's all.
We gotta get Ivan up here, man. Talk about divorce.
Yeah,
yeah.
man, whenever y'all ready.
We definitely gotta get
Yeah,
Ivan.
we got a couple. Even I got a partner, Mac, that want to come on and talk because he wants to get remarried as well, but he did want to talk about what he felt like he did wrong in his marriage and stuff. So pointers for us to not go down that route.
Yeah.
So I'd like we'll be bringing him on too, man. So
Okay.
I'm gonna be good, man. We got to get both perspectives of it too, man.
Yeah.
And like even with the divorce, man, I had talked to y'all like that Scrappy thing, man. That was kind of weird, bro. Like I don't know if y'all seen that, man. He had like a whole divorce party, and Mama was there. It's like we outside. And it was like, yeah,
That's the thing that's going on.
That's
in
kinda
Hollywood,
dope,
Nah, bro.
I mean, that ain't the first time I seen it though.
I see that.
It's like
I seen a few divorce parties.
Hollywood, yeah, Hollywood.
You gotta end it how you started it. You started partying. Everything
But-
up and up. When it's over with, party.
I see women doing the we outside thing.
That's true.
don't
I ain't
see-
never seen no man
That's
do it.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Like little Scrappy as a man doing a we outside party. It just like everything kind of just. I question a lot of that situation because I see how hands on his mom's is, and it's just like, man, that's too. I don't. It seemed like she too. He married to his mom. Is what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because we had this conversation with our parents. Well, I have a conversation with my parents a lot. A lot of these women raise their sons as their boyfriends, like they're so involved.
Son husbands.
Yeah, they basically everything
but-
that their son do is that's my king. That's my like. It's just the terminology sometimes, and just to see how they just handle their son. It's just like it ain't that way with me and mine. Like how my wife operates.
Yeah.
So
But a lot of that goes back to what we were talking about last week with the abandonment issues. We don't know what the extent of the father situation. You know what I'm saying? Where the mom had to step in, and then all he knew was his mom.
And if the mom had a man, she probably wouldn't be leaning on her son like that. Because another man dating her would be like, let your son be a man. So a lot of times we see a son-husband thing, it's because the mom probably not in a relationship with nobody.
yeah,
That
it's
kid
kinda,
feel the void.
So yeah.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I just when I seen that, it would just seem like a whole bunch of red flags.
Yeah.
It's probably like why he got a divorce and all that, because she seemed like she's just too involved in everything he got going on as a grown man. Like, bro, you 40. I talk to my mom a lot, but there's certain things I don't talk to my mom about.
Yeah.
Just as a man, it seemed like she know everything about him, in and out, all that stuff. And everybody's relationship different, man. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how to be with your moms, man. But after a while, you can't date your moms, bro.
But he just ain't never left the nest. That's all.
Unfortunately.
I mean,
man.
he didn't stay with his mom damn near his whole life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I look at it like a failure. I do. But I also can't be mad at people who decide to embrace what has happened and stop looking at it like a failure and embarrassment.
Mhm.
So they kind of doing,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? They kind of doing their own thing. Hey man, that's the ultimate shit.
It's crazy.
I was telling people I was going through it on the dance floor, and boy, I felt on a lot that night. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this is a tool right here. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a tough situation, man. I hope I don't gotta go through that again though.
Oh, so you've been married?
Yeah,
Oh,
for like
see?
90 days
Oh, I don't count, man.
in my early 20s.
I don't count. That was an irrational decision.
Yeah, but I learned a lot of lessons from it.
Oh, you are.
Yeah,
You're gonna learn a lesson.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
So what was that marriage like? If you don't mind talking
yeah,
about
it
that.
was just it was like a cool thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I think two people when they fall in love or they're in love,
And lust.
that could be also. You know what I'm saying? But when you in that situation, you feel like because y'all are in a comfortable position now, you're able to take that step into becoming one. You know what I mean? Government backed.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that step is
So how did y'all know? Like, how did you know?
Oh man, what man? She went to shits immediately.
Now you know I listen to Views, right? Is this the one that was a prostitute?
Oh man.
Nah, I ain't been married
That's
to a
somebody else.
prostitute. What? Nah,
Man,
I was
you
fucking with
wildin',
a
bro.
prostitute.
All right,
I was fucking with a prostitute. I didn't know.
right. But this ain't her, right?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. But yeah, man, I was in my early 20s, man. It went to shits pretty fast, man. Just some shit that you're not ready for, man. But I took a lot of lessons from it, and it took me a long time to actually do it again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
but that was in my early 20s. I might 20, 21 maybe. I met wifey when I was 24. We didn't get married again. I didn't get married again until I was 32.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean,
Just a different approach to it. You learned that marriage was something different than.
that shit ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah.
That shit ain't nothing
How
to
hard
play
was
with.
the divorce? Like the process of divorce?
Oh, that shit was easy.
Okay.
My mom's deal with all, you know what I mean? No, I only should have probably not said that, but moms be dealing with the courts and shit, so we ain't even, it was just kind of, it was mutual. But I feel like, man, you know, when we talk about marriage, man, you know, to me now it's a complete business decision.
Mhm.
But beforehand, when I did it earlier, it was kind of a social decision. And you know, once the glitz and glamour, the excitement of getting married, the everybody, it's just a shared excitement. I would say all the support, all that shit. Once that shit is kind of gone and it's just y'all two,
Mm-hmm.
reality hits, and oftentimes it don't work out well.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you, Lax?
What?
Your divorce?
It was smooth. It wasn't no headaches. It was you know, we just got down to it and it was over.
Mm.
So yeah, it wasn't no complications, nothing like that. So
Did you feel failure in it? Did you?
no, I don't feel failures, bro. I don't even know
Lessons.
I don't even know what them is.
Lessons. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. But yeah, man. So shout out to them, man.
That's a unique thing though, because I'm sitting here like looking at it from two different perspectives. Because like you said, now you see it more of a business
Mm-hmm.
decision and stuff like that. So the first one taught you that, like, hey, how to go into this marriage. So like with this marriage, you learning how to move. Because listening to you, listen to him, like you sound like my uncle that was here. Like it's business. I gotta
Fuck
find
yeah.
somebody that can do X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z. I think for me, it's still built on. I'm still like old school, built on love.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get our business together while we're
Mhm.
here. You know, in that part, you know, that way that hey, you reach your highest version self. I reach my highest version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we bring, we can divvy up. You know, whatever we do. Now it's about doing business. So like when I came into it, like I fell under that card of my parents, seeing them because they were married and seeing like love. And then when I got older, that's when I start to understand. Well, damn, your credit got to be good. My credit got good. We both are a reflection of each other.
Yeah.
So now I can see the business in it now. So
Yeah.
totally
I mean, I'm
different.
pretty open, man. You know what I mean? I don't really, you know, as far as that my marriage and shit go, I wouldn't say we're open book, but I'm pretty open about the shit that we go through. You know what I mean? Because you know, so many other people relate to it. But I know our Achilles heel is finances.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's most relationships.
Yeah. So, glory to God, we make enough to cover the craziness that goes on.
Man.
But the our position makes things more comfortable, but anybody else in our position probably would falter. I do feel like, marriage is a business decision, you know what I'm saying? We a LLC damn near, you know what I mean? That's what it is, it's my family. And I can't do business without the emotional aspect. So I need the emotional aspect to be there.
Right.
But if we don't have nothing to build on financially, I mean, what do we have? I don't know if I'm getting too old to even think about struggling with somebody that's not where
Right.
I'm even in life anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the divorce rate is so high because so much of it is based on finances, and I can understand why. You know what I mean? Your spending habits,
Mm-hmm.
spending decisions, how
Spend
much
now.
you taking out. I mean, it's so many things that's dealing with finances that all that shit has to come into play. And I don't think those are the things we talk about before we decide to take that step. Because, from experience, you know what I mean? Especially, working for so long that I have, once you get married, man, motherfuckers can touch some shit that you ain't even know they could touch. You know what I mean? That brings out that's a whole nother fear, when you
Preach.
talking about motherfuckers going into they can keep going into your retirement.
Preach.
They can go into all of these things that you don't realize that they can do until it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that, not dependent, but, people with assets and money like that, do you think that you blindside your partner by getting a prenup, or, you know what I'm saying, having that agreement in place before you go into the marriage? You think that's, because a lot of people was against it because we don't want to start off our relationship like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not necessarily you starting off your relationship with a contract, but you are starting.
It's a just in case. Just
No,
like
but you
insurance.
are starting your relationship off with a contract because you got to sign that paper before God and in the courts saying that you take this person to be your person.
Yeah.
So what's so different?
I just look at it
You taking on my life. I'm just talking about some little stuff that I own.
I think
So-
I think it deeper too is to add on to that. I had a conversation a while back. So not only to say we sign a prenup, and I had said this to make it a lot easier on fathers, DNA done right out the gate.
I agree
So
with
that takes the question,
Yep.
question right out the gate. So that way I know that's my kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of women that we had this conversation with felt like it's disrespectful. How's it disrespectful? If you know the truth, you already know this is your kid, and the paperwork gonna say that, why do you have a problem with being a DNA test? And that's when stuff start popping in people's heads. Because that's the same thing that I hear a lot of people talk about as far as it, because it's a financial thing.
People want receipts without the physical receipts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you said, because now if we're going into marriage and I say, hey, sign this prenup because I just want to make sure I keep my retirement and everything that I worked 30 years for.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't touch it. If she's offended by that, damn, that's the question. Like, now what do we do?
Right.
Yeah.
Now what do we do?
We sign waivers, man. We sign terms and conditions for everything else. You know what I mean? I think I'm of the, I am grateful for my situation, but I am of the idea that nothing lasts forever. And just because you're in love with someone does not mean it's forever. You know what I mean? It could be temporary love too. And we oftentimes make permanent decisions within those lines a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I am all for it. Hey, man, just in case.
Right.
Just in case. You know what I mean? Like, I love you. I love you to death. You know what I mean? But I didn't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just in case. Someone with a lot of assets. Yeah, I'm 100% for that. Yeah. Now, what I had when we met is mine. Now, what we build together while we're together, we divide that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
But I think that's taboo, man. I think that's taboo, and you know, the people avoid those conversations until they're in the situation.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can sound a post-nup too.
But it ain't like
A
the thought.
You can sound a post-nup in the middle of your marriage, the same as a prenup. It's just after the marriage.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting. Did not know that. Today I was.
But
Today.
then I'm thinking in my head, would she give up that leverage? Like, is it because that's the business? Because I don't know, man. Because it's levels to it, man. I'm not in a position.
It's not levels. If you're going into it for the right reason, it don't matter. A paper shouldn't decide whether you want to be with a person or not.
I'm
or
saying
assets or whatever it is. If you're going into it with the right mindset, you're marrying your person, your best friend, like, you know what I'm saying, whatever y'all call yourself. That little piece of paper ain't, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
And some people might argue, well, then why we got to do it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, why not do it? You know what I'm saying?
That's the main thing I'm looking at, is that looking at the prenup, and I'm saying there's levels to it, because at this level where we at, all we got is pensions. See, pretty much. I don't know, like, you know, houses and other stuff like that you might have, but as far as like finances, I'm not counting nobody money. But you know, prenups, that's that Jay-Z type of, you know, hey, I got this type of stuff.
But it ain't though.
It's level. That's why I said it's levels to it. So I feel like people at this level, you can't walk into no prenup just because you got a good job. And like I said, protect your pension, do what you got to do. If you got some assets that you want to protect that you had before, but depending on the cash value of those assets, like what they worth, like what can you get for them? Because a lot of times, like, I can't ask for a prenup with just a job. You know, I got some stuff, but you know, it's like, hey, post-nup, Tamara, hey, sign this. Nah, that don't make no sense. You know, like for me, that's why I said for me it's a little bit different, because I've been looking at it like you got to actually have something,
right?
To be, you know,
whether
ask for that.
whether I disclose it or not, if we're saying, okay, whatever I came with, I'm leaving with.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
You can have something that it's only valuable to you, but the other person can be vindictive and be like, nah, hell nah, we finna, I don't want you to have that because I don't want you to be happy type shit. Like, you got to have that conversation too.
A home by itself can bring on a war, man.
Trust me, I've seen it. You know, but to me, I guess I'm just one of them type of people. I ain't worked for it. I ain't did it. That's you. I ain't tripping about it. So everybody have a different perspective on it. I'm just looking at it like, man, you ain't got nothing. You ain't bringing nothing to the table. We ain't got to sign nothing. Like, whatever we built, like me and my wife, we used to separate. Whatever we have built over the last 26 years, we got to separate. I'm not going to make sure she going to be cool. I'm going to be cool, but we just going to be fair. It's going to be just right down the middle, because we've been together so long. Money in one account, everything.
But you're in the minority, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the other side, because I'm looking at a person like my cousin, Neo. That's what I'm saying. It's different. There's levels to it, because like with him, man, you got to, every relationship, you got to walk in.
Too much money on the table.
That's what I'm saying. You got to question, because now you can come up off of me. I can't come up off of you, you know, unless we equal, you know, like, you know, Cardi B, you know, or whatever. She might be bringing in more money than he is. So how you feel? Because I was tripping when I had, we talked about a Jay-Z prenup, because we seen how it was laid out. I thought I knew Jay-Z was getting money, but I didn't know he was getting that much more money than Beyonce, because we were seeing Beyonce tours, $1 billion. And then when the prenup came out, oh no, you'll get this per baby. It was all like she needed the help. I'm like, yo, Jay must be. Yeah. That really changed when I seen that, because I knew B was getting some money. Like, she billionaire, like, but when you still getting
right, but see, when that's the difference. It's a different kind of money, because when you in front of the camera and then when you go behind the camera, that's two different.
She's just
you know
a
what
performer.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey,
ain't no movies, ain't no CEOs or nothing nowhere else. She's just still in front of the camera. That's her.
House of Darion wasn't out that long for them to make money.
Yeah, I mean, but the business is set. I believe he probably set her business up to where she's getting majority of the money. Yeah. So it ain't sitting like, you know, she ain't bossing up. Like, I'm just saying, like, he got the corporation stuff. But at that time when they first got married, I think if they would redo it, it wouldn't look the same.
No,
it wouldn't look the same. Definitely right now, because they definitely got to change, because of they both billionaires though.
I think my thing is with prenups or whatever, I just don't want to start over from scratch, Cause they're starting over from zero, from nothing. It takes so long even to get where I'm at. And I ain't nowhere near their level, but where I'm at, it just took so long to get there, to get married and then get divorced, and half of that gone, and then you got to start over it later.
And a lot of that is mental too.
Yeah, I don't want to just start over all the way from the beginning. Somebody got to come up winning. If we have to like liquidate everything and split it down the middle 50-50, as long as I ain't starting over from scratch. Cause
I don't think it's ever gonna be fair though.
I ain't going back to
I
Alabama.
don't think it's gonna be fair.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I just don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's ever gonna be fair. So like you said, somebody gonna win, somebody gonna lose.
Yeah,
That's just how
lesson to
court
blow
is.
on the L.
Yeah, because I just don't see it. Because I just think, people walking into a situation, they have a certain mindset, believe in certain things. I don't know. That's why I say, hey, if you are in a position where you popping, you got all this assets, protect yourself by any means, which you should. By will, all that stuff. Because you got people like Prince dying and don't got wills, and now the state take over they stuff, and that's kind of where we at.
I heard that's a good come up too. Like they have like auctions and stuff for people that die that don't have a will or kids to leave it to, and then they like auction their stuff off.
That's it.
This dude saying he bought up a wardrobe for like $100.
Yeah, yeah. Cause, it's just really like you said. We don't. I think too, just being educated on the options we have. We don't understand like this is an option for me. Because a lot of people feel like maybe it is disrespectful to ask for a prenup before I came in, but listen to everybody say what they say. No, I'm different. Like, with me, I'm working to get the money right now. I'm not worried about no pension and all this other stuff. So that's so far away for me to even think about, like, my wife taking 50% of that. Like, I'm not even thinking about that aspect of it because it's 20 years away for me.
But that could be ugly too. I got one of my friends, their father retired with the police department, and then they got a divorce. His wife gets 60% of his pension. And he retired at like late 50s. So him starting over, it's hard for him to start over, and half of his pension is gone to her. He wasn't married to her for like maybe 20 years or so.
What you mean? Maybe that's the long time, bro.
I got a couple cats at my job. They still working, so they ex-wife don't get the pension.
That's what I'm saying. So like
they working themselves into the dirt, bro.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, I mean
OJ.
It's just like you said, you got to know who you dating. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Because at the end of the day, you seen all these signs. I feel like people see these signs during the marriage, like what kind of person. Because one thing I had learned, we all learned, hopefully, when God show you a person, pay attention. That's who they are. Don't go for the excuses afterwards. Because I've been burnt. Fool me one time. Yeah. 2 times. Okay, now I learned my lesson. After that, it's just like nah.
I think that's the problem with like doing things based on society standards, man. When you're making social decisions, that's why I don't really care for the how long should you wait to be married talks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit, I will stay unmarried until I fucking see this person in totality. You know what I mean? It's not really time, it's experiences.
Yeah.
What do you do in these situations? What do you do in these situations? When it's about funds, when you angry, these type of things. I will wait as long as possible. And I did. To see, okay, if I want to do this or not. You know what I mean? Some people jump right into that shit, don't know. Y'all ain't been in those situations.
Yeah.
And when they come, that's when the shit starts to go downhill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can see people using marriage to save a lot of that too. When those problems do come up, we married. Divorce is so hard and all. That's what come in their mind. Just to stay there too, because just thinking in general.
Yeah.
Just how people just be moving. Some people get married for the wrong reasons. I see a lot of people put pressure on a fiance to get married. I see a lot of women put pressure on guys to get married, and they're not even in that mindset to be. Yeah. Like that potential, marriage potential, like and being married, like I said, 12 years, and then being with my wife since high school, going through everything under the sun. I could sit back and tell people like, nah, you ain't ready. You ain't ready for that. I see a lot of people just doing it to be a wife because it seems like it's the society standard. They want to be accepted, for a lot of the stuff, and then I've been talking to all my friends, and I've been telling my friends, make sure you got your stuff together before you get into a relationship. Get your credit up. Like you said, that way you're not starting over. I'm bringing something here to the table.
Yeah.
You know, and that way that I got all my life is in order. I'm not just out here looking for a mate. My life is in order. This is just what I need at this particular time right now because all my other stuff is together. And that's what I'm learning just in, like I said, within my marriage. Damn, I got to focus more on Andre. I got to take myself out of certain roles too. So I can just be better as a person, as a man. I can't be over here at this practice all the time, you know, giving that I got to be here at the house reading and doing some studying because it's going to help, you know, me become a better person to get more information out. So, you know, just trying to, you know, have that understanding to give it to my friends to be like, hey man, be the best version of you. And then that'll, you know, hopefully inspire your significant other to bring her highest version of self to the table as well. So,
and on that, I'm on the mindset. I mean, you shouldn't get into any marriage till y'all live together, where there's no options. You know what I'm saying? Because then you learn how people live. You know what I'm saying? You might not clean like I want you to clean, or you might not cook how I want you to cook. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? All them little pet peeves and all that different little stuff. Like you catch that. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, you can decide if do I want to live with this or is this a deal breaker? You know what I'm saying? So, and then a lot of people ignore it. And they dive in and they, you know what I'm saying? We already living together, so it's official.
Like, and those with kids, man, I think I don't think I've ever heard in any relationship two people say they had to talk about parenting styles. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we love to do the whole, you know, the good, I'm a good dad, I'm a good mom, that type of shit, you know what I mean? Until y'all in a situation, in a household where, okay, our parenting styles conflict. Now what?
Yeah.
You know, that can be hell in itself. You know what I mean? But man, shout out to all those people going through it, man. That's a tough situation, man. You know, I couldn't imagine at this point doing that, going through that again.
Yeah. I mean, we still go through it. I mean, me and my wife still clash. Not like clash, but have disagreements on things, you know, because dating, you know, as far as the kids go, talking to boys, like what's appropriate age, and you're just going to have disagreements. Because just because we did it when we were young, just because I was talking to you when I was 13, 14 years old, don't mean that was right. Just because you was staying the night over here when you was 17 doesn't mean that's right. You know, that's what was needed at that particular time because of the stuff that she went through. She was going through. So God put her over there where he knew she would be safe at, which is at my house. Because, you know, everybody, these are my boys. So they already know. Like, moms, pops, they pull up. They can go over to my house, my mom and my house without me and just chill over there. They know my parents like that. That's their mom and dad like that, too. And that's what kind of was over there with her growing up. You know, she, single parent, her mom was there, boom. But she's working, now she's over there with me, you know, and just being safe, you know, as far as just being over there where can't nobody take advantage of her. There's real love being given to her. So, but we gonna have disagreements, you know, parenting, but it's also how you were raised, you know, because you feel like, I feel like my parents did a good job with some of the stuff they instilled in me. So I want to pass that on to my kids, but then he might say it's a pet peeve, or you might see something that they don't like, you know, that they do, but then the kids start doing it, you know, and then and that's one thing I dislike in the household when they get to saying, oh, that's from your daddy's side. And when it's a negative thing, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's from your mama's side. Oh, your hair ain't growing because like, yeah, man. Like, I think if we can get out of that too, man, that'll help. Because that positive reinforcement, man, I learned that at my last job working in mental health. Like, positive reinforcement. Us as the Black community, we don't do it. We don't do positive reinforcement.
Tough love. We call it.
And I think we question it even when we do. Like, we wonder, is it genuine or you just saying something to gas me up?
And a lot of times it be gas.
But I mean, I feel like we're a society built on tough love. So positive affirmations can feel like
I would say our generation, not this new generation, and not the generation before us. But
I don't know what this new generation.
No, I mean, this new generation, you got to think, we the parents. Like, these are our older, like, I got sisters, like, with 20-year-old kids. Like, you know, my nephew, he ain't a problem. But it's them. They still clubbing, they still doing. It's a different thing. I remember when my mom was in her 40s, she wasn't in the club. She was working. She was at home. It's different times. Like, we still out and moving. It's a different. But see what I'm saying? But why do you have to?
Yeah, but I'm not. When I look back on it, man, and I look at my grandmas and my aunts and shit, and by the time they were in their 40s, now I'm nearing that age, and I'm like, I was just like in the kitchen and like doing hair in your 40s.
But it wasn't.
That sucks.
But it was more that blue collar when they was coming through versus like now with all the technologies, everybody, you know what I'm saying, following celebrities, trying to live these certain lives. Like back then, it was like they celebrities was mama, grandmama, auntie, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that was going on in their village, you know what I'm saying?
Their club was the church.
Yeah.
And then like you just think of where we at today. Yeah. And are we okay with where we are today with men and women are acting in the dating pool? No, because we moved to, like you said, what the standard is for society.
I've been out of the dating pool for so long, I don't even know what the fuck the dating pool looks like.
That's what I'm saying. It's so crazy now, but it's just the expectations now are just back in the 90s. People it was taboo to be a stripper. It was taboo to do this, taboo to do that. Now, if you ain't stripping and you ain't out here, threesomes and all this other stuff, you ain't popping. You just the old. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just how society look at people. Man. Just because you wanna, that's just how. But that's how society
that's what we live
that's
in.
That's more acceptable.
God, it's still working.
You see what I'm saying? But that's more acceptable than having, like you said, the one woman at the crib. Like. It's more dope to be a pimp, you know what I'm saying? And respect to I got P's as friends, but that's what it is. Yeah. It's more social media based. What I can show you. Yeah, I got this Range Rover, this and this. It look good, but
the flash and the bullshit sells all the time.
It's a readjustment of standards.
Full transparency. But I just indulged, you feel me? Hey man, look, shout out to wifey, man. We
let it go to waste, man.
Absolutely not. Right at the park, pull up, boop, in the backseat. You know what I'm saying? Felt like a kid again. You know what I mean? That shit is. Hey, look, man, I ain't never had a threesome in the backseat. That's wild. So that was another memory that we can attach to. But I'm big on memories now, man. I don't want the last thing I would want is when it's all said and done, me or my wife were only defined by two things. Being a good parent and being a good husband. It's not fulfilling for me. And when it's over with and, he called on my name, I want to know I lived a life. Mm-hmm. And when we love to put on these faces. Mm-hmm. And the narratives that we have when it comes to who we are as people, those two things are just not enough for me. And I wouldn't want that for my wife either. You know what I mean? Right. Like, she's only defined as she was just this great mother. And then once the kids are gone, that's all she has. Hmm. And I wouldn't be able to live with myself. No, man, we gotta live, man. We gotta create memories, man. We gotta do some shit.
Absolutely.
I'm big and I'm thankful that, you know what I mean, we've slowed down, but we kick it, and it was dope. You know what I mean? We was sitting down and we was looking through pictures like on our phone and shit, and it was at a point where we stopped being able to like, where were we? You know what I mean? Yeah. What was we doing? Where were we? Where did we wear this to? And that shit was cool. You know what I mean? Because we at this point we so big on experience and yeah, man, I just. And you doing like your niece's hair in the kitchen and just cooking.
I'm not saying slow all the way down. I'm just like, man, I mean,
when they was 40, it was different.
It was different. Yeah, like, I mean, they understood where they was at. A lot of these parents, man, they don't understand where they at in life. It's still like they chasing childhood. Mm. I had a great childhood. Everything that everybody doing in their 20s, niggas was doing in his teens. Oh, yeah. So I'm cool. Like all this stuff. Right. I'm past that. So things people are chasing it's been done already. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it like, it is what it is. But I'm in a different space right now. Like I said, the memories that I'm collecting, like I said, everybody, as long as you can find your partner that fits what you on. Yeah. That's really what it is. Because I tell my wife all the same thing. We on the same thing. As long as you be yourself. That's all I ask my wife. Be yourself. I don't want you to try to put on a facade or face. Nah, man. Be who you going to be in front of me at all times. And be that other person. You know You know, because that's the fakeness that we have to put when we go out. But nah, when we at the crib, be you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the real of it. But find somebody that do it. And like you said, you private though. So a lot of people just put their stuff out on social media. Everybody do things different. So that's why we have, you know, just to try to get down to what works for everybody. Like you said, if you never said nothing, nobody would have known.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we do this. You know, we do this. We do this right here. You know, and I'm big on transparency. You know what I mean? And I'm also not perfect. And that's why I feel like I'm most relatable when I'm giving full transparency. That doesn't mean I have to give my entire situation out.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are some things, you know, and from that aspect, I am still very private. You know, I don't have to, and I don't feel like I have to give my entire self to the world. You know, when I close them doors at home, that's kind of, I'm cool. You know, I go on social media to detach and release. It's an entertainment for me. I don't go on social media to seek anything.
Skinny said a lot of parents also regret not living.
And a lot of that has to do with I know the older generation. They never evolved past being, like we were saying earlier, a husband, a wife, and I got a job, so I'm finna work this job. It might not have been the job they wanted either.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna work this till I retire, and you know what I'm saying. And it capped right there. They didn't want any more than that.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
the retirement, Social Security, I'm gonna leave this to my kids. And, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, it was capped right there. It was no more growth to do other things or talk about things that a lot of us didn't get. You know what I'm saying? As far as managing bank accounts, different little things that was never passed down and talked about in especially in Black families. You know what I'm saying? So,
and a lot of parents, I think too, regret not living because their kids grow up and ain't shit. Like, how many parents are still in their 40s, ain't taking care of their kids, grandkids in my house all the time? Like, come on. Like, I could have been living my life because you living your life. That's how these parents looking at it, because the same kid I raised is still doing the same stuff in his 40s. I should have lived my life then. If this is what you was going to be, while I was a parent, then I should have lived my life then. I made too many sacrifices for you to still be this way. I still see parents in their late 40s.
Right.
Kids is in their 20s. Not being a parent because they still out clubbing, doing what they do. They live in their life, but they regret being a parent. And they can say that all they want to. I bet you everybody who said they regret not living don't regret being a parent though. You see what I'm saying? It's just two certain. I mean, certain things to look at it.
It's hard to. I don't think anybody regrets parenting, but I do feel like we love to give ourselves these self-fulfilling terms, and I don't feel like you can completely define yourself as a great parent until your child goes out into the universe and you see how productive they can be as a citizen in this society.
Right.
That is when parenting is defined to me. But I do feel like, part of the big generational gaps that we have in our community is the fact that men and women back in those days were not able to do or couldn't do or did not have the confidence to do what these young men and women are doing today. A lot of women are open, pretty open with their sexuality, the way they dressing, the free spirits, and you couldn't do none of that. Women wasn't doing that back then.
On top of real racism.
You know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of men these days are.
It was around. It just wasn't promoted. That's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't have social media. That's the only thing that's different from.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of
not
women
to the extent it is today.
No,
and that's men and women.
But that's what I'm saying, because social media, like the internet.
Yeah. But also on the flip side, when it comes to men and us, a lot of men these days are talking more so about their feelings, and then they get termed emotional and sassy, and so it's like, well, because you couldn't do that shit back, you can't. You had to put on this hard face all goddamn day. Doesn't mean I have to, and that creates just a huge gap.
Is it how they express it that makes a person look sassy? If I can tell you how I feel without the body language and all the other stuff that come with it, you'd be more acceptable. Like I said, that's why that's the only reason why I was looking at that Scrappy thing the way that I did, because you out celebrating like a woman would. I've never seen a man have a we outside divorce party.
Okay, what's the difference between you say in the movements and all that, a man expressing himself versus a man that's portraying to be super masculine, loud, animated. That is more of so of an act for me.
Yeah, like
Right.
see, and that's why I said with me, I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna properly explain like or express my emotion to you. If I'm mad, you gonna know. But if we just talking, we just talking.
Yeah,
You know, and that's the thing, and that's why I said like with men know like we you got to know how to communicate. You got to know how to talk. I'm not finna walk up with my chest pumped because that's gonna let you know something.
Yeah.
If we about to fight and you gonna know. That's already attention.
Yeah,
But if I come in a different way,
yeah,
that's how a lot of black people, you know, we already look for the negative. But if I come in a different way, like, you know, positive, hey man, let me talk to you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that type of way. I think when I be seeing emotion like sassiness come out when people, it's how they try to express themselves. And then the attitude they get behind it. Like you can get your point across, you know, without, you know, getting emotional with the body language and you can see it. I see things that like I see women do. When I see men do it, I don't see, you know, I don't like.
But that's the people that don't know how to communicate.
Yeah, but
You know
like
what
I
I'm saying?
said,
they need the theatrics to get their point.
But that's why I
across.
looked at the if you watch the little Scrappy thing, just watch how he move. As far as you can tell like it ain't no man around, bro. He's just out here doing this and like, come on, bro. What man puts his head back and yes, like no, I personally I don't know.
But the man was his mama.
That's what I'm saying.
She was the party. She was the pimp. She was the pimp. She was the this, that, and the third. The drug deal. Like that was his role model. That was his superhero.
And ain't nothing wrong with it. But then, like I said,
it is something wrong with it.
But I can't. But I'm not. I come from a logical standpoint. Like I said, my dad was there, so I look at things logically. That's how my dad always told me to do. Logical first. Don't let your emotions. Because if you make an emotional decision, it's temporary.
More times than not,
It's temporary. Yeah. It's right then.
Yeah.
Look at everything on the table. See, you know what it is. Make your decision based off of that with a calm mind. And and that's pretty much it. Like I said, I talk to my mom. My mom's not involved in my marriage though. I don't talk to my mom about my wife. I don't talk because she's a wife. So she can tell she's a woman. So she can try to tell me what she would do. Yeah. But I'm not married to you, mom. So I don't talk to my mom about my wife, about my household. There's certain things I might go to her and ask her, you know, information, like just to get a better decision, like for me. But even with my dad, I don't talk to my dad about the stuff I got going on because we two different husbands. I might come to you to get some general stuff, but like you said, it's 2023. When y'all got married, it was back in the 70s. So y'all going through what y'all went through in the 80s and 90s, you know, raising kids opposed to what we got to deal with social media and what we've been exposed to.
And that generation had a household of black love that was showed and displayed to them at an early age, so they know how to execute that. I think now this era, a lot of us don't have that black love unless we go to our grandparents and before. Yeah. Because with the exception of you, a lot of our parents wasn't married. Yeah. So they were single. So we didn't raise in a household where mom and dad was there and hugging the wife on the couch and kissing and affection.
So a lot of us didn't know what love was.
A lot of us didn't know what that was.
And that's what be hard for me. That's why I be saying I was around it, and I'm still around.
That's what I said. You saw, know how I came through. You know what I'm saying? Even it was nice. It was tough at the crib because I was raised in a house full of women. I had to go spend the night with bros. You know what I'm saying? My cousin across the street and go play basketball, do different things like that. Then my brother left, and then it was just like, don't nobody love me? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Who I got to talk to and like, so them examples of men, they all was gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and that could be a test of Scrappy situation too. His mama probably didn't show that. His mama was a pimp, so you know he lived that life and do that life. So he probably don't know.
She seen the masculine in his mom because you know we can tell like she had to be that. But it's just, to me, I just look at it. It's kind of like we got to move away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't be, you know. That's why I coach football too, because you just have you have single moms who have kids. You know you can go impact. Because I've been impactful with kids since they were 6. Yeah. You know, because the only thing I can do is be consistent as a man in your life. So you can see that. That's what we had growing up. Outside, my dad was going 4 days a week in Tonopah. So he was here 3 days, but the other 4 days I'm in the streets. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm not. I'm over there with TJ Poole, Melvin Givens. I'm at Doolittle. They're filling in the gap. Even though my dad is present, because I'm talking to him, but he's not there. He's at work in Tonopah, 4 days a week, back at home, really for like 2.5 days. Then he back on. So, but it takes like you being around because you already know 4 sisters. I'm the only boy. So, like you said, that's why I be so watching because like tendencies. I'm around all girls. So, what you think you're gonna be learning all day? So, I'll be at my son trying to make sure because he's around no, you got to come over here, be around your uncle so you can understand just what masculinity looks like. It's cool to be feminine, to have emotion and tap into that, to know how to tap into your emotions.
Yeah.
But some of my friends, I like the people I know, and I'll be trying to figure out because they have a issue. Because some of them be too emotional right now.
Preach.
Too emotional right now. And I'll be like, bro, I can't talk to you. I get off the phone because I can't come from that perspective because it sounds like it don't sound logical. I'm like, bro, you know the solution. You just want to whine on the phone to me. You just want to talk about something that you already know the solution
But
for.
that's they like if they never define love for themselves, they don't even know what real love is. You know what I'm saying? We always like, oh, we think when we know when we love. Even when we jump into these marriages, oh, I love you, but like you ain't even defined your marriage. You don't even know what love is if you haven't even got it in your household. So now I'm telling a person that I love them, and I didn't even get love my damn self. So how do I know if that's
what love is?
How is that love? Like, how do I know what that looks like?
I still don't.
And a lot of people don't even love themselves. They might say I love them, but do they really love themselves? Think about that.
Damn.
They out there because they get caught in a cycle where they keep making the same mistakes, beating their head on the wall with the same mistakes. And they go out there, like you say, they get emotional, make irrational decisions.
Yeah.
Time after time after time after time. You think that's loving yourself?
Mm-mm.
That's torture, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's torture.
Do we know what that love word? Do we know what it is from the perspective of a man?
I think it's gonna look different every time you ask a person a question.
Yeah, I think and then to me, it's also layers too to that love, man. Because like I love my wife, I do all that other stuff too, man. But it just been on the day too, man. Shit, we might be tripping.
No bullshit.
No, but I like I said, I love I just think everybody's definition of love is gonna be different.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a household that was, like I said, 2-parent household, all my siblings there. That's what, I considered seeing my mom and dad love. That's what I considered love to be, because that's what I was exposed to. Outside of that, I'm learning what love really is right now, because it's the consistently working on it every day. Because like I had run into that roadblock where, like we were saying, it just ritual became the same stuff all the time, man, and it just got tired of it. But then you got to learn how to go back on dates, do those type of things, make those deposits again, and re-love that person, because it get old, bro. Like it get old fast, man. That's why I always tell my friend, hey man, just gotta do these things. So I'm happy when I see you and sis out like at the Usher concerts and all those, because you gotta have it fun. You gotta keep it fun like that and keep dating. And like I said, it's cool for y'all too. And then your wife, she said, men need to vent. And I don't have a problem. Like I said, I'm cool with communication.
Yeah.
I don't like venting. Communicate. Don't come to me. When my wife venting, she venting about work. I ain't got no solutions for that. I can hear you all day though. Vent about that all that you want to. But if it's something that me and you, man, don't vent to me about none of that. Come to me, tell me what's going on so we can figure it out. That's just how I'm looking at it. Because I'm not gonna vent to you. I vent about business stuff to you just because you my ear. But I'm not, when it comes to relationship stuff, yeah, man, we got to get to it. We got to talk, because this came up not too long ago. I had to communicate with my wife. I said I can't be on the show telling people to communicate, and then I don't go home and do it. And so I had to have that conversation with her, and we had a conversation, and
But
it was.
Isn't venting a part of communicating? Letting out that frustration.
Well, like I said, it's
because
to me, like I said,
it could be something that you did wrong.
But
I need to get it off my chest. I'm venting.
That's why I said.
And then now the communication extends to now we can have dialogue.
I look at it, we're communicating right out the gate. Because when you say you vent, there's a bunch of other shit that come with the word vent. You see what I'm saying? Because you've been had this.
But that's emotional. That's emotional part. But that's all part of communication.
Yeah, but like I said, you can vent, but just make sure you communicate effectively while you vent. Because if you just vent your emotions to me, I don't give a fuck about that. To be honest with you.
But that's part of the reason why you talking though, or you communicate.
Because I'm trying to find the solution. I'm a solutionary guy.
Right.
That's just where I'm at. Because when my kids come and whining to me,
but we're in the minority though.
Yeah, what happened?
And then they got to get it off.
I get it.
They got to get it off.
Yeah.
And then if they don't get it off, it's just gonna keep building up, and then it's gonna be a bigger explosion. And then now you're gonna really have to hear it. And then you not gonna give a fuck then?
No, my kids, they come vent to me about their teacher. Oh, my teacher this, and this. Okay, well, you had an assignment that was due. You didn't do it. So you fucked up right there. You can turn it in on time. Wherever the case might have been. This might have been something that happened in between there, but you venting about something, like I said, it's just me. How I've been with people that vent, they don't look for a solution. You just want somebody to hear you talk. That's just me, and I'm not the guy for you.
CEO,
When people get
you need to have some patience, brother. That's what that boils down to. That's what that boils down to. Just a little bit of patience.
Hey. But I talk, like, I listen to y'all though. You see what I'm saying? Like when we talk, it's you communicating to me because I'm listening to what you're saying. You're not telling me about your wife or nothing. You talk about you. Same thing with K Rich. He didn't talk about his ex. No, they talk about themselves.
Do you feel like that's more? Do you have a savior complex? Is it impossible for you to hear something without having a solution to it?
Man, I don't say that I'm a savior, but I like to be a critical thinker person to try to help you think. But if I see that you're not trying to provide a solution for yourself, I'm at that space in my life. I'm not wasting time on that. I used to have that complex a lot with my friends, and they'll tell you, like, it was just, certain business deals. I will be over because this is my friend, this is my brother, and I don't want to see him fail because if he fails, this is his dream. I had to pull a lot of it back because I was too much for everybody else. Being a solutionary, and then I just seen that the same people that was 10 years ago got the same problems today. So that's kind of, it's just looking at habits. Like once I read that book about habits, man, these people just want to talk. It's the same thing on social media. That's why I handle social media different. When I see people vent on social media, that's because you already vented to somebody else behind the scenes. You didn't get the reaction that you wanted. I'm gonna go over here
so you can get confirmation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And that's
I don't like the venting and playing victim. You venting, but you're painting the picture like you're the victim. And
I think
that's when you take it. But that's when you take it to social media when you want to be the victim.
I hate that
because a lot of that stuff could be eliminated before you even pick up the phone by just having a simple conversation. You know what I'm saying? I think people like for people to feel sorry for them. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to get out of that. Yeah. We got to get out of that.
I think victimhood is a very, very comfortable mattress.
Yeah.
That sometimes is impossible to get out of. We need people to feel sorry for us and for us to feel sorry for ourselves. A lot of us do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I don't like
I can't sit there and
victim and people like emotional men. And I learned that in the last few years. Like I don't like when men are too emotional around me and get the well, what about this? And get the like crying about everything. I hate that shit. And it could be in, what she was saying earlier. Like, and I realized,
she's saying it right now. So if that same friend come around and he's emotional, we shouldn't say that he's sassy because he's crying.
I wouldn't call him sassy. I was like, man, you real emo right now, man. Get out your feelings.
What are you saying then?
I mean, it's only so long you're going to be like that. And I don't want to be a shit. We got friends in our circles that's kind of sad. Like, I don't know.
Okay, so how many times do you give someone to be like the first, if you going through something, the first time I'm here 100%. The second time I'm like,
all right.
By the third time I'm like, my nigga.
But see, a lot of times, y'all looking at it wrong. I mean,
that's why we got
a person is coming to you because they trust in your confidence and your word. Like you say, you came to me. Mm-hmm. And instead of like saying, they're emotionally sassy, just build them up. Give them the confidence to make their own decision about what's going on in their life.
Fuck that.
Without making the decision for them.
I don't.
No, because if we don't start picking each other up, bro, you're gonna start getting a lot of this.
I don't subscribe to any of those terms. I never.
It ain't pity. It ain't pity.
I just feel like I don't have enough emotional calories to deal with your shit and mine. And if every time
that's patience.
No, because if every time we talk, there is something going on, it's a you problem.
Yeah.
But do you say that?
Yeah.
A lot of times y'all don't.
After the
picking
a lot of times we
after
don't.
about number 5, you talking about the same issue. I'm be like, look, bro, you got to figure this out.
I've had that conversation with our friends. I've had that conversation. I've said that, bro. We've all been on a group phone, and I've said that, bro. Like, what are we doing, man? Is that what are we trying to figure out? Because is this because your daddy wasn't around or something?
Yeah.
Because I'm asking this question because my dad was around. I'm looking at it in a totally different light because the way that he's acting with his emotions, I'm like, bro, I wasn't taught that. Like you acting like a, and that's like I said, I don't want to put these traits as women.
You can't label it.
Like a women trait, but that's all when you're growing up and you only see women express their emotions. That's what you put to women like that. Now when I come and communicate, because this is what I learned from him, I'm the type of one I was holding it in. I wasn't going until it until it is ready to go.
Yeah.
Then everything coming out. Then I'm gonna communicate how I want to communicate to you because I've been thinking about this. I'm not in my head, but now I communicate right away. You know what I'm saying? And it's not venting. It ain't no venting thing. Right. It's just, hey, I don't like this. Yeah. Or, and it's cool that way. Because I tell her the same thing. If I'm not doing something, I'm not, let me know. Because there was a time where in our marriage where I went outside to, like looking for validation because I wasn't getting met in that particular department with my wife. So now instead of me going outside, venting to, like you said, that's the word vent. Because I'm venting to another person. I'm not, I'm communicating with her. Yeah, I'm venting because I'm just telling you, you can't give me no solution about the problem with my wife. You see what I'm saying? I'm venting to you. But like you said, but what's the real solution? Have you went to your wife yet? Have y'all talked? Have y'all did this, and this? Have y'all went to therapy? If you ain't tried
that's what I say. Just giving a person that confidence and building them up and having patience with them. You know what I'm saying? Because we all gonna go through some shit.
I'm all about parents, patience. I am. And I have no problem talking to someone and trying to, offer solutions for their issues. The problem is when it becomes a consistent thing. And at this point, now I get into the mindset of like you're using me from an emotional standpoint. When someone continuously comes to you for anything from an emotional standpoint, it's almost like you become the strong friend. But what happens to the strong friend when the strong friend is going through some shit? And now when you come into me, I can't come to you. I can't come to you with anything because my nigga, you always going through something.
Right.
So then it becomes okay, now you're looking at me different because you're feeling like I'm telling you no. When I'm going through something my goddamn self.
Facts.
So that is the issue I have with, goddamn, bro. Do you have one good day? Just one. And see, I don't so I don't say it, but I have a bad problem with not picking the phone up.
See?
Hey, but that's
I will leave that motherfucker right there.
And to your wife, like I said, this is to the people that don't want solutions. That's the venting that I'm
talking to me.
No. Oh no.
Once I stop answering the phone.
No. But it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those type of things though that I look at it and say this: like, if you're coming to me, communicating to me, venting to me, but you looking for a real solution then because you already know what kind of friend I am. Everybody know what kind of friend it is. People know who they can go call to vent to. I can't call greasing up because man, Six say it all the time. He'll call somebody else because he can't call Grease because Grease would be like, nah, bro, you on that bullshit. Because I'm gonna tell her how it is. That soul called me Martin Luther Grease. I'm just gonna tell the truth, bro. I'd rather keep it a buck because that's how I would want you to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So when I went to Elax, communicating to him what was going, I was lost with learning how to love. So now I'm looking at, hey, man, how do you do this? Because it looked like this, So I'm seeing, and that's when he was like, hey, man, it's the deposits. You got to do this. Because he exposed me to something. He gave me a solution. Because I wasn't venting to him like, oh, my wife wouldn't. I'm just coming to him talking about, like, what can I do, to make stuff better on my end.
But see, even in good communication, when we talking to people, we got to stop inserting ourselves into their situation.
This is a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I was saying, giving them, words of encouragement and confidence to make decisions on their own. Yeah. And at some point, they're going to stop coming to you and they're going to be the strong friend because they done went through something and that in turn their situation around and might have opened them up to a different light. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't shut it down because, you know what I'm saying? It's something, right. But you haven't given them that. You haven't given
No,
them.
I have. More often than not, like especially in my family, like everybody comes to me. You know what I mean? Everybody comes to me.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, if I keep trying to offer you solutions, I don't even like inserting myself into issues, anyways. But if you're coming to me, I'm going to try to offer a solution to you, right? But at some point, I start to realize you're not looking for a solution. You looking for me to validate your wrong decisions, your bad decisions. That's all this is. You know you're making a fucked up decision. You ain't got nobody else to talk to, so I'm gonna go to my friend that I know that's gonna agree with me.
But then that's at that point you got to tell them the truth, like you said.
Boy, don't you like when a conversation goes full circle? All right, hey man, next week, man. Shit, we finna be outside, man. Oh shit, I won't fuse, man. Next week, where can everybody find y'all at?
Hey man, you already know. Call Grease for the real estate. Grease Balls Baby CEO. That's the other page.
Shout out to my daughter, man. She's going through a real estate class right now.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm. Uplifted Lax on IG, Millionaire Lax on IG as well.
I am S to the O on Instagram and Twitter.
That's the hardest fucking. I'll be having a like, nigga. I'll fucking make a post or some shit. I gotta delete it because I gotta find this motherfucker.
Hey, the only thing I do is I type the @ and I A and then he pop up.
All right, y'all. Next week we up out of here.
All right.